Live from Columbia, this is WIS News 10 Sunrise. Live, local, now.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us here on Sunrise. I'm Emily Scarlett. First, meteorologist Adam Clark joins us this morning from the Weather Center with a look at your wake-up forecast. Just as you said, Adam, we did see those showers last evening. What's in store for today?
No showers today. The clouds are moving out as we speak, Emily. The cold front making its way through the region, bringing in cooler air and drier air as well. You can see the clouds still in the low country. There's the cold front making its way through the area, and you can see the cooler temperatures with clearer skies. Greer 52, it's 60 right now in Columbia, and 60 degrees in Charleston. This morning we'll see temps drop into the mid-50s, it looks like, before it all is said and done and we warm back up into the afternoon. So today, clear skies, western flow, a southwest wind at 4 o'clock, and then we keep that southwestern flow into our Thursday, and that helps warm us up into the low 80s. So today we're in the upper 70s and then low 80s for Thursday. Then we have another cold front coming in as we head towards Friday. We're not expecting any clouds. It's a dry frontal passage for our Friday, and just on the breezy side and a good bit cooler Friday with plenty of sunshine. Today, 77 degrees, pleasant, sunny. It's really just kind of perfect. Around 1 o'clock, 70 degrees, and 75 right around 5 o'clock or so. So enjoy.
Sunshine sounds great. Thanks, Adam. A fiery night in Cleveland as President Trump and Joe Biden squared off in the first of 3 presidential debates. The candidates clashed over everything from the pandemic to race in America. Alice Barr is in Cleveland with the night's biggest moments.
No handshake for the first presidential debate in COVID times. Instead, the candidates diving straight into hand-to-hand combat.
I'm not here to call out his lies. Everybody knows he's a liar.
But you
I just want to make sure.
Joe, you're the liar.
I want to make sure.
You graduated last in your class, not first in your class.
I want to make sure.
Mr. President, can you let him finish, sir?
No, he doesn't know how to do that.
Moderator Chris Wallace of Fox News repeatedly asking President Trump to stop interrupting, and neither candidate shying away from direct attacks.
You're the worst president America has ever had.
Hey,
Come
Joe,
on.
let me just tell you, Joe, I've done more in 47 months. I've done more than you've done in 47 years, Joe.
Joe Biden hammering President Trump for his handling of the pandemic.
He panicked or he just looked at the stock market. One of the two, because guess what? A lot of people died, and a lot more are going to die unless he gets a lot smarter.
Squaring off over the economy.
This guy will close down the whole country and destroy our country. Our country is coming back incredibly well, setting records as it does it.
We handed him a booming economy. He blew it.
Taking on race in America. This exchange over violence in American cities.
This is a president who has used everything as a dog whistle to try to generate racist hatred, racist division.
The people of this country want and demand law and order, and you're afraid to even say it.
President Trump notably refused to condemn white supremacists and once again refused to commit to accepting the results of the election.
If I see tens of thousands of ballots being manipulated, I can't go along with that.
Show up and vote. You will determine the outcome of this election. Vote, vote, vote.
2 very different approaches from the 2 men fighting to lead this country out of crisis. In Cleveland, Alice Barr, NBC News.
The next presidential debate will be Thursday, October 15th in Miami. That follows the one and only vice presidential debate Wednesday in Salt Lake City. We're also keeping an eye on several congressional races this election season. South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham and his challenger, Democrat Jamie Harrison, will face off in 3 debates across the state ahead of Election Day. The first taking place Saturday, October 3rd at Allen University in Columbia, hosted by us, WIS TV. Now, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, no studio audiences will be allowed for any of the 3 debates. And WIS is partnering with Lexington County School District 1 and the Post and Courier to host the only debate between Republican Congressman Joe Wilson and Democratic challenger Adair Ford Burrows. That debate in South Carolina's 2nd congressional district race will air live right here on WIS at 7 p.m. That's Tuesday, October 20th. Our Judy Gatson and Post and Courier reporter Avery Wilkes will serve as moderators. Turning to our coronavirus coverage now, with DHEC reporting more than 500 new cases. Of these new cases, 57 are in Richland County, 36 in Lexington County, 14 in Sumter County, and 12 in Kershaw County. This brings the total number of confirmed cases since the outbreak began to more than 143,000. We also learned of 22 additional COVID-19 related deaths. Most of those happened within the last week. One dates back, though, to earlier this month. DHEC says more than 4,000 test results were submitted statewide Monday, bringing the percent positive to 13.2%. The University of South Carolina updating their COVID-19 information yesterday, showing another decline in the number of active cases. Officials say there are 33 active cases on campus at this time. 29 are among students and 4 among employees. Just a little more than 1% of quarantine and isolation space is currently in use on campus. Multiple law enforcement agencies are expected to resume a search today for a baby's remains at a downtown Columbia home. Officials with the Lexington Police Department say their investigation began in the town of Lexington after multiple sources told them a woman delivered a baby at her home and took it to a home on Wallace Street in Columbia to bury it. Multiple law enforcement agencies spent more than 20 hours searching that yard for human remains. An anthropologist has also been working with both the Lexington and Richland County coroner's offices, and cadaver dogs were also brought in to help with this search. Neighbors say it's an area that's usually pretty quiet, but that this situation has them on edge.
It's really scary to think about, and I mean, I just whatever has happened, I feel so bad for the people involved and affected, and I hope that we get more answers soon.
The anthropologist is trained in, of course, excavation, and he has been assisting us in maybe where to search and how to search.
Police say this is an isolated incident and that neighbors should not be concerned for their safety. In South Carolina, we do have a law known as the Safe Haven for Abandoned Babies Act, or Daniels Law, which provides a safe option for both mothers and their babies. Under this law, instead of abandoning a baby up to 60 days old in dangerous circumstances, a person can leave their unharmed newborn baby at designated locations such as hospitals, fire stations, EMS stations, or houses of worship during the times they are staffed. Now, this person cannot be prosecuted for abandonment if they take their unharmed newborn baby to a safe haven. The mother or person leaving the child does not have to identify themselves, although it is preferred for health reasons. For more information on Daniels Law, you can visit the South Carolina Department of Social Services website at dss.sc.gov. And looking ahead now to sports, the Gamecocks prepare for a big battle in the Swamp. Plus, former Gamecock Asia Wilson delivers a brilliant performance in crunch time when it matters most.
Well, there's zero chance to catch their breath. The Gamecocks schedule provides no cover to regroup. After an opening loss at home to Tennessee, Carolina heads south to the Swamp to face third-ranked Florida. All the Gators did in their opener was pour 51 points on the Ole Miss Rebels on the road with a league-best 642 yards of total offense. Carolina head coach Will Muschamp recognizes Florida quarterback Kyle Trask can play at a very high level. Muschamp likes his pocket presence, how he evades the rush, and creates explosive plays. Drawing up the offense for the Gators is Coach Dan Mullen. Muschamp knows what to expect from the Gators after all their battles over the years in the SEC.
He's going to find ways to run the football. He's going to find ways to stay balanced. If you find something, you can bet you'll see it again. He does a really good job of finding things that work, and you better defend it, and you better have an adjustment for it. And if you don't, you'll see it the rest of the game. defensive football is a lot like war. If you line up over and over again in the same spot, they're going to blow you up. So you've got to be multiple in what you do. You got to be able to mix some zone. You got to be able to play man-to-man. You got to be able to pressure, and you've got to be able to mix those things and not be predictable.
Let's focus on injury news from the Gamecock defense. Linebacker Sherrod Green is out 4 to 6 weeks with a fractured hip. It does not require surgery. Defensive back Israel Mukuamu is day-to-day with a groin injury, and freshman defensive tackle Alex Huntley will not play Saturday due to injury. Turning our attention now to the offense, Muschamp looks for some other Gamecock receivers to step it up. Shi Smith caught 10 passes for 140 yards and a score. Xavier Legette was the only other one out on the roster to catch a pass from Colin Hill in the opener against Tennessee. Now heading into the weekend, the Gators will undoubtedly have their eyes on containing Shi Smith. So Carolina feels it must be creative to keep Smith a significant part of the passing game.
We will scheme him as far as getting him in some different spots, motion shifts, create different spots for him on the field, for him within the formation. Whether it's outside, whether it's inside, whether it's coming from the backfield. As long as we're scoring and winning, we're good. And if it means going through one guy, go through one guy.
Over in Tigertown on Saturday, the top-ranked Tigers will welcome in Virginia. It marks the return to South Carolina for Palmetto State native Lavelle Davis Jr. The freshman out of Dorchester stands 6'7" and made big catches in the Cavaliers opener last week at Duke. Davis Jr. had 101 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. The Tigers have a tall order in stopping this tall target.
He's a long guy and made some big plays against Duke. In fact, he was I think the difference in the game. Good start for him as a freshman. In his first game, he's just going to get better. As he gets stronger and develops, he'll be a problem as he matures.
To the court we go. Former Gamecock A'ja Wilson carries the Las Vegas Aces to the WNBA Finals. She scored 23 points, collected 11 rebounds, en route to the Aces' 66-63 victory over Connecticut in Game 5 of the semifinals. 11 of Wilson's points came in the final frame. Hey, clutch when it counts. Wilson and the Aces play Seattle next on Friday. And that will do it for your look at morning sports. I'm Joe Gorcho.
Thanks, Joe. Well, let's take a look at your forecast today. I think you're going to like it. Cool and sunny today, warmer tomorrow, and then cooling off again as we head towards the weekend. It's going to be refreshing. Right now, there's a cold front making its way through, and that's why you see the clouds starting to move out of the region. And where we've got those mostly clear skies, we've got cooler temps. As you can see here, right around 60 degrees in Columbia. It's 52 in Newberry and Chester, 51 around Saluda, 59 currently in Sumter and Manning, and 58 degrees around Orangeburg. So high pressure's building. The cold front's moving down to the south and east by around 7 in the morning. Then as we head into our afternoon, we're nice and mild. We get into the mid to upper 70s. This high pressure kind of helps warm us up into Thursday. But notice this, we've got another cold front up to our north, cooler air behind it. That's the greens that you see there, the cooler temps. And then it's not quite here Thursday, but Thursday afternoon, we're getting into the low 80s. So that's exactly where we should be for this time of year. But watch this, as this cold front passes through, our temperatures drop again into the low 70s, low to mid 70s for our high on Friday, but we're dry. There's no moisture associated with this system. We're also tracking the tropics. There's a 60% chance of development in the next 5 days for this region right here, and it looks to move to the west-northwest slowly. We'll probably see a tropical depression here, and then it looks like it'll weaken and then possibly re-strengthen. So it's going to be a long-lived type of system. Lots of sunshine today, tomorrow, and also Friday. We warm up Thursday, and then that next cold front comes in, knocks our temperatures right back down to 74, and we could be in the upper 40s even for our Saturday morning with lots of sunshine. I'm going to save my yard work for Thursday, Friday, and into Saturday. Today, I'm going to go see Grandma. 20% chance of some showers for your Sunday, mostly cloudy skies, upper 70s by Monday, mid 70s Tuesday with mostly sunny skies.
More information on the Breonna Taylor killing may soon be released to the public. Audio from the grand jury presentation is expected to be included with the case file beginning today. The police shooting sparked rallies nationwide, and protesters were upset that 2 officers were found to be justified in using force. John Lawrence reports.
Nationwide protests on behalf of Breonna Taylor, the emergency medical technician fatally shot in her home in March during a police raid in Louisville, Kentucky.
Why is this black woman killed in the sanctity of her own apartment? That is the question her mother has been asking since the first day this tragedy happened.
Some possible answers might be available soon. Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron says he'll comply with the judge's ruling that orders an audio recording of the grand jury presentation be made available to the public.
Breonna Taylor's family is relieved because it's a step forward. We understand the journey for justice is awfully a long journey, but this is a good step forward.
This announcement comes after a grand juror filed a motion requesting that all related material from the grand jury presentation be released.
My client wants to make sure that anything that happened in there becomes something of public knowledge to the extent it's legally allowed to.
Incoming interim Louisville Metro Police Chief Yvette Gentry says the public deserves transparency.
People want to know from the moment there was an affidavit presented to the execution of the warrant in which Breonna died unto the supervision. There's a whole lot of questions.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
The former Louisville police officer who is charged for his actions during that raid has pleaded not guilty. Other related investigations into Taylor's death are ongoing, including an FBI probe into possible civil rights violations. In other national news this morning, California Governor Gavin Newsom has signed into law legislation prompted by the helicopter crash that killed NBA legend Kobe Bryant and 8 others. This comes after 8 LA County Sheriff's deputies were accused of taking and sharing graphic photos of the victims and the crash scene. The new law, which takes effect January 1st, makes it a misdemeanor with fines up to $1,000 per offense to take such photos for anything other than official law enforcement purposes. Bryant's widow, Vanessa Bryant, is suing the department over those photos. Still to come here on Sunrise, one teen is taking the extra step to help the children on the front line, children of frontline workers rather, in his community. More on this story when we come back. In your health news this morning, a new study reveals women are often given less aggressive treatment than men for certain types of heart attacks. Researchers looked at more than 90,000 adults under the age of 55 who had a heart attack complicated by cardiogenic shock. That's when the heart suddenly cannot pump enough blood to keep vital organs alive. The scientists found women were less likely to receive stents or treatment with a mechanical pump than men. As a result, women were more likely to die from this complication. New research suggests participation in sports may lower the risk of ADHD in girls, but not boys. The Canadian study included 2,000 6 to 10-year-olds. At age 12, the children's teachers rated their behavior compared to their classmates. Girls who played a sport tended to have better behavior and attentiveness than those who did not. However, there was no such link among boys. Finally, the COVID-19 pandemic has disrupted nearly every aspect of our children's lives, including sleep. Pediatricians from the University of Florida say it's important to establish a regular sleep schedule for kids, even if they don't go to school every day. The first step is to establish regular times for going to bed and waking up. If bedtime has been later than usual, try moving it earlier by 10 minutes every 3 to 4 days, then begin adjusting wake-up times. The experts say older kids should not nap because it may keep them from falling asleep at night. It's also important to turn off all electronics an hour before bedtime and keep all devices out of kids' rooms overnight. A team from Texas has come up with a new way to help those on the front lines of COVID-19. It's a virtual tutor and mentoring program for the children of those frontline workers. Roseanne Aragon reports.
16-year-old Amruth Nandish is a problem solver, and a conversation with his mother and uncle, both frontline workers, got him thinking.
His kids were staying at home and they were doing nothing. They were not having any social interaction.
Understanding this situation,
A lot of the personal time that they had with their families gone now.
he was inspired.
I kind of came up with this idea where you could have someone, a tutor, maybe like a mentor.
To help the children of frontline workers during this pandemic, he created Telementors, an online tutoring and mentorship program.
Through cold emailing, through cold calling, I looked up every single hospital, many doctors, alumni networks from school.
Working with doctors, nurses, and others from Memorial Hermann, Houston Methodist, and more.
So what's going on, Arjun? How are you?
He called on his math camp friend, 17-year-old Southwick Salati, to help grow the program.
It's not only about the learning, it's also about the bonds that people create. Did you do anything fun the last few days?
No. Not really.
Brightening these kids' spirits, you could see.
So what do you like to do?
The service they provide.
To Ernest into the elevator.
With a simple online sign-up, vetted mentors are carefully matched.
We talk about basketball, we talk about our lives.
Providing support when frontline communities need it most.
Hi. Hi.
Thanks for starting your morning here on Sunrise. Of course, much more news and weather for you in a few minutes. We're back at 5 a.m.